Hello everybody, it's me, TONIK TZW, and with nearly 1100 subscribers to the channel and quite a few familiar faces cutting around in games, it was a pleasure to bump into Ludicrous Speed, who I was sure I'd seen his name around in various streams. I'm not sure if it was my own or if it was in the official Legend stream, but I was out in the Darren, he was out in the Kitakazi, and like I said, I recognised the name straight away for some reason, and I thought, okay, let's see what goes on here. He's on my team, so that's a good thing. We're here on Islands of Ice. It's Epicenter, which is one of the worst game modes in the game. I'm sure you will all agree, because nobody wants to go near the middle. All the battleships want to sit at the back, the cruisers want to sit on the flanks, and it leaves the little destroyers in the middle of the map trying to contest everything with little to no support. Is this game going to be any different? Well, we will see about that. Now, what I will say, I was having a tidy up of the PlayStation, and unfortunately I deleted the team results screenshot off this, so I haven't got those at the end, but what we have got is the final score for me individual, so we'll just have to deal with that when we get to it. But we're out here, we're pushing the flank, and Ludicrous is in there, straight in towards the centre of the cap, and I just want to try and protect this flank. You can see that I'm located, then I'm not. Something is coming this way, so we're going to slow down and hopefully let them run full speed into us, or at least give them the opportunity to run full speed into us. We're keeping an eye on the minimap with what is going on. I'm not located anymore, so I'm going to try and back up and see if I can pick up that location. Giuseppe Verdi at the back there. What monster is going to come this way? This is being patient, not rushing into things, being patient about what we're doing. Get everybody onto that Tulsa. It's the only radar cruiser in the game, and if he disappears, then that could potentially give us quite a significant advantage. I think the Tulsa was trying to rush in and get close to that island so that he could burn his radar across the capture points, and that's one of the risks. But here we go. We've got a Sumner, recently nerfed with his torpedo range, but we are going to go guns. We're fairly evenly matched on the guns and reload here, but I'm going to lose some hit points. I'm going to pop my smoke. There we go. We've lost about 40% of our hit points in that short engagement. But you know me, I don't sit on my smoke. He's made a mistake. He's overrun the smoke screen. The torpedoes are coming through. My sonar's running. I know those are coming well in advance. And so we're going to stay on this guy until he is back to port. So there we go. We are on the board with kill number 1. Not a first blood, because it looks like the Tulsa was taken out. And so we are going to push up this flank a little bit, because we know that all the big ships like to sit behind those islands at the back. And we want to give them a surprise, especially when it's all these tier 8 and legendary premium ships. There's a lot of hit points to be harvested here. Now, I do momentarily get detected here by the Musashi, but in dropping behind the smoke screen that the Sumner has very kindly left for me, it gives me the opportunity to put a little bit of fire out this way. Now, it would have been great if somebody had had line of sight on these constantly, but that Musashi obviously knows there's a destroyer out here. He doesn't want to be in the way of torpedoes, so is immediately turning and heading in the opposite direction. But yeah, Ludicrous Speed is going to catch up with him in a little bit. So we blind fire. What's that we've got out there? We've got a Henry IV. That is not a very nice cruiser, and that Giuseppe Verdi is going to get very lucky, because my torpedoes are going to run out just before they get to him. but we've got a fire on the Giuseppe there. We're going to switch to the Henry IV, and we're going to try and put some pain on him as well. Now, at this point, I couldn't remember if the Henry IV had quite long-reaching torpedoes. I was trying to think up the text tree line of the Charles Martel and the St. Louis, and I was thinking, okay, let's not sit here, even though we've got 20 seconds to play with, let's not sit here, let's get out. We've got 43 seconds on the sonar, but we don't want to have to be reacting to torpedoes if he decides to come down and run in against us, because he is out of sight. It's 2 for 2 as far as ship kills go for either team, but we have got 2 of the caps, and that's given us about a 130-point lead at the moment. There's the ARP Musashi and the Henry IV. He is charging straight in. I think he realizes that they need to do something with the capture points. The ARP Musashi is right on the limit of range, and there we go. Torpedoes go out. He takes some hits. We're going to add to his pain, knowing that we're safe from the Henry IV. Keeping the fire pouring onto him. There's the torpedoes from ludicrous speed. One of those connects, and even though we had a fire there, I'm quite happy for him to take the kill there. That is another ship down. 3 down to 4 down, blue against red, so we do have a lead now. We got, what is it, 240, nearly 250 point lead now. So this is why, again, I'll reiterate the point, caps are so important in domination mode, because if you control them, you know, within the space of a few minutes, you're going to have enough points to offset losing 1 or 2 ships. You don't have to bludgeon the entire red team to death. Now, I did look at the stats of this Giuseppe player after the match, as I sometimes do, and I believe they were fairly new to the game, so the chances are that the Giuseppe was one of their first campaigns. I don't think they had too many hours played. Yeah, there we go. He's still got AP loaded. I would have had HE loaded if I knew that I was being hunted by a destroyer. I had more than enough time to do that. And we sat in that smoke, and he's fired his guns, so he's under smoke fire penalty, which means that I can just keep raining on him. He's going to have another reload soon, and I slightly overrun my smoke screen here. He's damage controlled. He's looking to pull the trigger again and blind fire me, but I'm a little bit more sensible than that. Now, this is where I'm going to play a little bit clever, and I'll share this little tip with you. Obviously, his guns are looking south through the cap, and looking at him, we can see where those turrets are positioned. Now, he's got 2 turrets at the front and 1 at the rear, so the safest place for me is on the stern of his ship. So I am going to push out and try and get as far behind him as possible. And when we're in that position and we know he hasn't got the angle to fire on us, we are then going to start shooting at him, because he has to react. And look, that rear turret is coming straight round. We're in secondary range. He spotted the torpedoes. There's a fire. Are we going to get a torpedo hit? Yes, we do. There's a flood. There's another torpedo hit and another flood. And he's only got 1 turret. He's trying to turn and run away from us, but you know, he's only got that 1 turret he can use. Those front turrets are going to have to swing all the way around to get onto me. The floods are ticking, the fires are ticking. I'm in smoke, he's fired his guns, and this is just a matter of not if he'll die, but when he'll die. And there he goes. So, pretty much a 400-point lead now. There's 2 ships left. I believe it's a Minotaur and a Shimikaze. There's myself, a ludicrous speed. We also have a cruiser and a battleship out there, but it isn't going to stay that way for long. Now, as far as I can see, their Shimikaze has been doing the Shimikaze thing and sailing through and spamming massive walls of skill out on a flank while remaining undetected. And if that's how you play the Shimikaze, and it's the only way that you play the Shimikaze, then please do go and watch some of my other videos on destroyer play, because there's much more to life than just spamming murder sausages through the water. I know it might be fun and you're guaranteed a dev strike and you think you're awesome because you got high damage, But sometimes if you run around the outside of the map doing that, you aren't really doing anything to help your team. 3 rules: spot, capture, and kill. Do those for your team, and your team will come out victorious, probably more often than not, as long as they aren't complete potatoes. Now, I love Madeira because it quite simply is the jack of all trades, but that isn't to say that it's a perfect ship for me. It's a good ship for me, but I have bad games too, and quite often it comes down to what I'm doing for the team and what the team can do for me. Now, Ludicrous Speed there is running down that Shima, and unfortunately his speed comes to a full stop because he picks up a torpedo from that wall of skill from the Shimakaze, which leads myself and a battleship. Now, looking at how many torpedoes that guy has been spitting out, he's running a full torpedo reload. Now, if I was the battleship on blue team, having seen where those torpedoes come from and seeing the fact that we have, what is it, a 400-point lead easily, pop quiz: would you go towards a Shimakaze, or would you turn and put as much distance as you can between you and the Shimakaze? Now, I know most people would choose option B there because they'd want to save their ship. It isn't all about damage. It isn't all about kills. If you can take the win, even if it means running away, then please do. And I'm going to continue to ping the map, and here we use a little bit of the game mechanics. It says that the Shimakaze is on the outer ring, so looking at twist and track indicator, it gives me an approximate location on where he is, and I'm going to keep pinging the map, and I think I do mic up and say, look, battleship, turn around, go in the opposite direction, and I tell him to retreat, and he still doesn't turn around, and I'm thinking this could potentially come down to one ship, or if that Shima gets a wall of skill out and catches us both off guard. In fact, there we go, there is the wall of skill towards that battleship. Is he going to take a hit? Is he going to get through it? I can't see there. Does he take one? No, he doesn't. He gets very, very lucky. Now, if anything, that should be the sign to that guy to get the heck out of dodge. I'm trying to run the Shima down. He could have an engine boost running. I don't have an engine boost. Battleship is asking for intelligence data. Now, mate, what you want to be doing is going the other way. Go away from the Shimakaze. There's another salvo of torpedoes. So this Shima is spitting these torps out hard and fast. We get the final cap, which means the Shima is off the outer ring. He's pushing round to the right. It looks like the battleship catches a torpedo there. And now what I'm thinking is there's going to be more torpedoes coming at this guy. I need to be away from him and away from the direction that he is traveling because I don't want to be running into torpedoes aimed for him. Shima comes into the outer zone. That just gives me a much better idea of where he is, given that we can see the lines on the map. And I think he realizes the game is lost and starts firing at the battleship, obviously trying to get a fire because he's had a flood, or to get the battleship to turn and put its guns on. But you ain't going to last that long, mate, and the game is going to end with a win for blue team. So, scores on the doors. We finished with 3 kills and just under 115,000 damage. We did finish top of the board on this one, and I think it was a 3,000 plus XP game with Ludicrous Speed picking up second spot. I'm sorry that I didn't save the team results screen on there, but it's always great to see familiar faces and familiar names out there in the game. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that one. A few little tips in there for people, so listen, learn and apply them to your own gameplay, and hopefully we can all improve a little bit, including myself. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.